Imagine this. A woman screams in childbirth. Surgeons rush to her side, and what emerges isn't a baby, it's a rabbit. In 1726, Mary Toft claimed she had given birth to rabbits, and England believed her. Doctors, newspapers, even the royal court. This isn't a fairy tale, it's a scandal so bizarre it humiliated the entire medical establishment. Stay with me because this is one of the strangest true stories in history. The year is 1726. England stands at the crossroads of science and superstition. The Enlightenment is dawning. Telescopes, experiments, the rise of reason. But in small towns, folklore still rules hearts. People whisper of omens, monsters, miracles. And somewhere in the quiet countryside of Godalming, Surrey, lives Mary Toft, a poor woman who will soon become the center of the wildest hoax the nation has ever seen. Mary Toft is ordinary, farmer's wife, tired hands, humble clothes, a simple life. She's already had children. She knows the pains of childbirth. But this time, something feels wrong. She tells her husband Isaac that she feels movement inside her belly again, but differently, unnaturally. Soon, she claims she has given birth not to a child, but to animal parts. At first a paw, then fur, then an entire rabbit. No one believes her, not yet. But she shows proof. Flesh, blood, hair. And in a world obsessed with curiosities, with monsters and freak births, her story spreads like wildfire. Local midwives are summoned, then a surgeon. They see with their own eyes what looks like tiny limbs, pieces of fur. They can't explain it. Could this be a miracle? Could a woman really give birth to animals? The surgeon, John Howard, is stunned. He documents what he sees, wraps the remains, and sends them to London for examination. The city's elite physicians are intrigued. London thrives on spectacle, and rumors of the woman who gave birth to rabbits reach the highest circles. Pamphlets spread across taverns, crowds gather to gossip, and before long, the king's own surgeon, Nathaniel St. Andre, is dispatched to investigate. When St. Andre arrives, he finds Mary pale and trembling, her belly swollen, her breath uneven. He observes her pains. Her cries echo through the dimly lit room. Then, before his eyes, she delivers another rabbit. The royal surgeon examines it carefully. Warm, slick, unmistakably real. His mind spins. Could nature be stranger than anyone imagined? He takes samples back to London. The king himself is fascinated. If this is true, it could rewrite the very laws of creation. The court buzzes with speculation. Was this a miracle, a punishment, or proof of some hidden reproductive mystery? Soon, England is consumed. Pamphlets describe the rabbit woman of Godalming. Crowds outside and shout her name. Even scholars debate her case at coffeehouses. St. Andre publicly declares her story genuine. He writes, "I have personally witnessed several of these extraordinary births. I am convinced beyond doubt that this is a true phenomenon." His words spread like fire. Mary Toft becomes a sensation. But as her fame grows, so do the questions. Another doctor, Cyriacus Ahlers, arrives, sent by the skeptical physician of the king. He observes her closely and notices inconsistencies. The rabbits she delivers appear to develop, their fur too perfect, their limbs intact, with grass still in their stomachs, as though they had been alive not long before. Ahlers suspects deceit. He secretly dissects one and finds that its lungs contain air, proof it had breathed before dying. Impossible if it had formed in her womb. He accuses St. Andre of gullibility. St. Andre defends himself fiercely, too fiercely. Pride is at stake now.
Oh.
The more Mary's story is questioned, the harder her believers cling to it. Meanwhile, in Godalming, Mary continues her act. Day after day, new births are recorded, 13 rabbits in total. Each time, surgeons document every detail. The people around her whisper she must be cursed or blessed. Isaac Toft, her husband, becomes her manager, guiding visitors, collecting donations. Some say he sneaks to nearby fields at night, catching rabbits and delivering them to the house under his coat. Under growing scrutiny, Mary is moved to London, placed in a guarded room so she can be observed day and night. No visitors, no leaving, no rabbits. For days, nothing happens. No strange pains, no births. Then a visitor arrives secretly. One of the attendants notices Isaac talking to a porter who delivers a parcel of dead rabbits. The attendant grows suspicious and reports it. The pressure mounts. Doctors confront Mary. They demand the truth. They warn her she could be charged with fraud, even witchcraft. Her confidence crumbles. Finally, exhausted, terrified, and cornered, she confesses. The confession is shocking. She admits that she, with the help of her mother-in-law and husband, had inserted parts of rabbits into her body to stage the births. They had killed young rabbits, dismembered them, and used them to fool the doctors. The hoax had begun after Mary suffered a miscarriage and claimed to have seen a rabbit run past her in the fields. In her grief, she dreamt of rabbits, obsessed over them, and somehow the idea turned into this grotesque deception. The truth explodes across London. The same newspapers that once glorified her now mock her. Cartoons depict her half woman, half rabbit. St. Andre becomes the laughingstock of the scientific world. His career, once gilded by royal favor, collapses overnight. The medical community reels from the embarrassment. How could so many learned men have been deceived by a peasant woman? How could observation and reason fail so completely? Mary Toft is arrested and interrogated at Bridewell Prison. Crowds gather outside to jeer at her. Some pity her, others call her a monster. When questioned about her motives, she says she never meant it to go so far. That she enjoyed the attention, the gifts, the fascination, that once she began, she couldn't stop. The story had grown beyond her control. The government debates whether to prosecute her, but eventually, she's released. Too much ridicule, too little evidence, too much public fatigue. Mary returns to Surrey, forgotten, disgraced, but strangely alive. She lives quietly for years afterward, a living cautionary tale. As for St. Andre, he retreats from public life. His name becomes a punchline among doctors. Every new absurd rumor is called another rabbit case. The scandal leaves deep scars. For years, medical journals reference the Toft affair as a warning about the dangers of belief without proof. It becomes one of the earliest documented cases of mass scientific embarrassment, the triumph of sensationalism over skepticism. But beyond the humiliation and absurdity, Mary's story reveals something deeper about human psychology, about class, and about our hunger for wonders. England wanted miracles. People wanted stories to believe in. The doctors wanted fame. And Mary Toft gave them all of it until the lie collapsed under its own weight. If you imagine her, sitting in her dim cottage, rabbits hopping outside, the smell of hay and blood mingling in the air, you can almost feel her desperation. A poor woman, invisible her whole life, suddenly at the center of the world's attention. Every eye watching, every paper writing her name. Perhaps for a moment she felt powerful. But power built on deceit never lasts. When the truth broke, the same voices that had cheered her now turned cruel. And that is another timeless truth. Society loves to lift people up just to tear them down again. Even centuries later, her story remains haunting, not because of the rabbits, but because of what they represented. Our collective gullibility. The way authority, reputation, and curiosity can blind reason. And in a way, doesn't it sound familiar? Today, misinformation spreads in seconds. Outlandish claims go viral before facts catch up. The platforms are digital now, but the psychology is the same. People believe what entertains them, not always what's true. Mary Toft's hoax wasn't just a scandal of her time. It was a mirror for ours. The 18th century version of fake news, driven by vanity, greed, and human fascination with the impossible. So next time you see a headline that feels too crazy to be real, think of Mary. Think of the woman who birthed rabbits and fooled a kingdom. Think of how even kings and scientists can be duped when curiosity outruns reason, because history isn't made only by truth. Sometimes it's shaped by the lies people are desperate to believe. Now picture the final scene, the courtroom's cold air, the judge's hard eyes, the quiet shuffle of papers. Mary, exhausted, whispers her confession. And somewhere far away in the countryside, a rabbit hops through the grass, the innocent creature that sparked one of the strangest scandals in history. Centuries later, her name still appears in medical archives, philosophy books, even pop culture references. Artists paint her, historians dissect her motives, psychologists analyze her mind. Was she delusional, manipulated, brilliantly deceptive, or simply a desperate woman trying to survive in a world that never listened to her? Perhaps it was all of these. But one thing's certain, she made history in the most peculiar way imaginable. So, what does it teach us? Maybe that truth is fragile, that belief can be powerful, and that sometimes even the most absurd lies can feel real if enough people want them to be. If you're still watching, congratulations, you've just witnessed one of the strangest true stories ever told. And now, I want to hear from you. What do you think drove Mary Toft? Madness, desperation, or genius-level manipulation? Let me know in the comments below. Because next time, we're diving into another unbelievable true case. One that makes the Rabbit Woman of Godalming look almost ordinary. Thanks for watching, and remember, not every strange story from the past is fiction. Some of them are far too real.
If you enjoyed diving into this strange, scandalous corner of history, make sure to unlock more secrets with us here at Throne of Scandals. Hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a story hidden behind the golden doors of the past, because history is full of mysteries.